Hi, everyone. This is Anna, one of your consumer technology specialists at Mid-Continent Public Library. Today, we are going to look at the video conferencing software Microsoft Teams. Teams should work for you on any device that has an internet connection and then either a built-in microphone and camera or a device where a camera and microphone can be attached externally. We are going to look at the internet browser version of Teams because you do not need to download or install any software to get started with this. Teams also does have apps for mobile devices and computers as well. And so the layout of the apps may differ from what you see in the internet version, the browser version. There may be more options included in the app version, and things might be in slightly different places. So that's just something to keep in mind. As far as attending a Teams meeting, you do not need an account to just attend a meeting. You would just need an email invite or the meeting link to join the meeting. If you are interested in scheduling or presenting during meetings, you would need an account for that. So that's just something to keep in mind. And if you do have a Microsoft Outlook account, you should be able to use that for Teams as well. Otherwise, you can create an account using any email address. So to access Teams in a browser, you're going to want to navigate to teams.microsoft.com and log in from there. You may see a page that comes up asking you to either open or download the app. There is an option on this page just below the download the app that says use the web app instead. So we're going to click on that, and that's what we're using today. So now we're logged into the account, and we want to start by looking on the left side. There is kind of a left side menu there, and the options we're really going to focus on today are the chat, which is the page that's currently open, and then the calendar. So with Teams, every meeting has its own chat, and this is where people can communicate before, during, and after the meeting. And this is visible to anyone who has been invited to the meeting. You can also start a new chat with anyone who is a contact through Teams or that you know their Teams information. There's also a join button that you can use that's going to start a meeting that would be accessible to anyone included in the chat. And they would still have to also join the meeting, but it would limit it to those specific people right away. If you want to make a video call or start a meeting right away, you can click on the little video camera icon that is to the right of the chat title and just to the left of the chat icon. You can get a shareable link when you click this camera icon, or you can start a meeting right from here. So if I click Start Meeting, it does open a meeting window, but we haven't invited anyone to the meeting yet, so it would just be us once we get in there. This could be good if you do want to take a look around, see the menu, see if your microphone and video are working correctly. Those are some things you may want to do before you're in the middle of a call with someone else. So that is why you might want to start a meeting with just yourself. Now, if you want to schedule a meeting, we'll go to the calendar page, and we can get there from that left side menu. And then at the top of the calendar, I do have options to join with an ID number, meet now, or add a meeting. So the calendar will show any Teams meetings that I have scheduled or that I've been invited to. And I can look at the calendar in day, work week, or week view. And then I can also use these arrows to move back and forth in the calendar, or the drop down next to the month title to move between weeks and then even months. If I want to schedule a meeting in the future, I'm going to click the New Meeting button. And here I will have to fill out this form and then press Save to schedule the meeting. There is a notification here that lets us know that with our current plan, it's a free personal plan that we're using. We can schedule meetings for up to 60 minutes in length, and we can have up to 100 participants in the meeting. And then there is a link for more information that we can click to get all of the kind of limitations and constraints of the free plan, and then probably also see what the paid plans have to offer. These limitations that I'm talking about are only for meetings that I schedule. So if I'm invited to a meeting, the restrictions will be based on the account of the meeting scheduler. So I'll fill out these fields quickly. Adding required attendees, this would be where I would choose the people that I'm inviting to the meeting. And then once I have filled out this form, it will be included in the invite email. So the information I put here will go in that email. Once I have it all filled out, the Save button for this is actually at the top in the right corner of this form. So I'll just click Save, and then I do get a pop-up with a link for the meeting in case I want to send it to someone, maybe via chat, or I can send it in my own separate email if I want. And then there's also the option to share via Google Calendar. So that is another option for getting those meeting invites out. I'm just going to click the X in the top right corner of this pop-up, and now I may need to navigate to the correct date to see that the meeting is scheduled there if I'm not already on that page. So I might be on the wrong week, or if I have just the daily schedule view, if I'm not on the right date, I would want to navigate just to make sure that the meeting is scheduled there. So that kind of can help you know if it's successful. And then that invite gets sent to the people you want to come to the meeting, and it will look something like this. Here's an example, and see we have all the information from that form displaying here: date, time, the link for the meeting, and then if we wrote a description, that would also be here. And when it is time for a meeting, I can also join the meeting from this calendar as well. So I would just click on the little meeting placeholder on the calendar. When I click join, I'm able to do some setup of my audio and video before I enter the room. So this may be enough for you to know that your microphone is on and your camera is working. And there are a couple options if maybe you have 2 cameras or 2 microphones. You can choose between those here. And we will be able to also change these options within the meeting window. So this is really just to get me started, to make sure things are working the way I expect them to before I actually enter the meeting. And then there is this gear icon that is for more settings. So when I'm ready, I can go ahead and click Join Now to enter the meeting. If I'm the first person to enter the meeting room, the meeting will start as soon as I enter. So I get a note that I'm waiting for others to join, so I know that I'm the only one in the meeting room right now. While we wait, we can take a look at our meeting window and the options that are included in our menu bar along the top. So on the left side of the menu bar, there is a count that is timing how long the meeting has been in session. So this starts when the first person enters the meeting. And this is especially important because we're using the free plan. So when we get to 60 minutes, when the count gets to 60, the meeting will end automatically. They do give you a warning at about 50 minutes as well to let you know that the time is almost up. If you're just having a short meeting, you won't have to worry about this at all. But if you're having kind of a longer 45-minute to 60-minute meeting with this restriction, you're going to want to pay attention to that timer. Now we can look at the menu on the right side, and we're going to go ahead and look at these icons from left to right. And just note, if you're using the app version of Teams, this menu may be slightly different or in a different order, and it may or may not have additional icons. Teams has updated their menu bar a few times, even in the last year, as they refine their product and add features. So you just want to keep that in mind, that it may look slightly different. If we look at the menu from left to right, our first icon is the chat. So this is where we can access the meeting chat during the meeting. So clicking on the icon once will open the chat on the right side of our window, and then clicking it again will close it. And this can be good if maybe there is a presentation and you want to make a comment, or if you're having trouble with your microphone. This is an extra way to communicate within the meeting. Or maybe someone is doing a presentation and they have muted everyone's mic, but they're asking questions. You can respond in the chat. And usually they'll tell you, if you're attending a meeting, they'll let you know what they prefer. The participants icon is going to show the people who are currently in the meeting. This may be a good way to see who has arrived, who has joined the meeting. Depending on your number of participants, you may not be able to see everyone on the screen. And so this shows you the attendees in a list form, which can be helpful if you need to take attendance, or if you're just trying to make sure everyone's there before you start, you might look here. Clicking the hand icon will raise a virtual hand. So this can let the presenter or speaker know that someone has something they'd like to say without that person having to talk over or interrupt the person who's speaking. And then after you make your comment or question, you would want to click the icon again, and that would lower your hand. So otherwise it'll just stay in the raised position until you click it again. The smiling icon shows emojis that we can use as reactions during the meeting. So when you click on one of the emojis, it will appear across the screen for the other participants as well. So you'd be sharing that reaction with everyone. And again, it's a way you can respond without interrupting whoever is speaking. The view icon allows us to change how the window is organized and how we can see participants. So this can be good if you're wanting to see everyone and they won't fit on the screen, especially if it's a meeting where you're having just a conversation and there's not something being presented. You can change to a grid view, and that would try to fit everyone into the screen so that you can see everyone who's talking and responding to the meeting that way. The 3 dots icon is where we can access our More Options menu. And this menu includes meeting information, language and speech, and this is where you can turn live captions on or off, and then settings for our sound and video. So when I mentioned before the meeting, you can do some setup of sound and video. You can also access those settings here. The meeting options are going to let us choose what participants can do or not do, and it's only going to be available if we are the scheduler of the meeting or if the person who scheduled the meeting has set us up to be a co-organizer or a co-presenter. And then there's also a couple more accessibility options here that we can set up. So if there is a sign language interpreter that I know is going to be attending, I can prioritize them to stay on the screen during the meetings I have scheduled. So what happens if you are in a meeting and you're presenting something and you have a bunch of participants, or even just like a handful of participants, more than maybe 4 or 5? They won't all show up on the screen. They will only kind of pop back up there when someone is speaking. So it's kind of like noise detected. Obviously, that's not going to work for a sign language interpreter. So this option would allow that person's video to remain on the screen throughout the meeting, even if other people are talking. And then the camera and mic icons in this menu bar are where I can click to turn those features on and off for myself. So you may be asked in a meeting to mute your mic when you aren't speaking. A lot of times that is because some mics give feedback, or your mic just might be close to you and it really picks up a lot of background noise, or if you're moving around at all, you may think you're being quiet, but the microphone is picking up all that noise. So don't be surprised if you're in a meeting and they ask you to mute your mic unless you're speaking. You would do that here just by clicking on the microphone. When there's a slash through it, it's muted, and when there is not, it is active. You may also find that there are certain situations where you do want to turn your camera off or it's not needed. So in that case, you'd be able to turn it on and off from here. The share icon is for the people who are presenting, and this is where they can choose what they want participants to see from their own screen. So this might be a PowerPoint presentation, it might be a web page, a video, or really anything that you can pull up on your screen, you can share with the group. There's options for with sound, without sound. If you have scheduled the meeting, you automatically have these permissions, but if you have not, you can be given these permissions by the meeting scheduler. So that's something you probably would discuss and know about ahead of time before you started the meeting at all. And then at the end of our meeting, we are going to use the red leave button to leave the meeting room. If you are a scheduler or co-organizer, you also will have a drop-down option to end the meeting, and this ends the meeting for everyone attending. If you are not a scheduler, you'll just have the leave button to leave the meeting yourself. So now that we know what features we have in our meeting window, what is it like to actually be in a meeting or participate in a meeting? Let's take a look. We have Mary here who is going to help me demonstrate how live captions work, as well as how to share our screen during a meeting. So to turn on live captions, I am going to go to my More Actions menu up in the menu bar. And then I'm going to go down to Language and Speech. And then I will click Turn on Live Captions. And I can see they pop up at the bottom and they just start auto-generating. So you can keep up with what is happening on the screen. And on Mary's screen, she does not see the captions. So when you turn on captions, it will only be showing for you. So I am going to turn those off just by going to the same place and turning off the captions. And now I am going to go to the share icon on our menu bar. And when we share our screen, you do have the option to share a full screen as well as just a specific window. I'm going to just share a window because I have lots of things open on my computer and I only want attendees to see the specific thing I'm sharing. So I'll find it in the list under Window and I just click on it. And I actually don't see what I'm sharing. On my screen, I can see there's a red box around what I'm sharing. But on Mary's screen, she can see it. So, and then when I'm ready to turn it off, I'll just click the Stop Sharing button. And that is how you share screen. So thank you for your help, Mary. So this has been an overview of how to use the Microsoft Teams video conferencing software. Thanks for joining. That's it for today's video. If you liked it, make sure you let us know by following our MCPL 360 page on Facebook and our MCPL MO channel on YouTube. We premiere new videos every Wednesday and Friday at 1 p.m. And if you missed the live event, you can always find all of our videos on YouTube on one of our many technology-related playlists on our YouTube channel. Thanks again for watching, and we will see you again next time.